Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another video. Today I'm using my Long Line Roses stamp set as well as the Written Words 2 stamp set to create a sympathy card for a friend. This is one of those times where you wish you had the appropriate card on hand, but you don't, so you make something special specifically for that person. So I'm starting out with some Saunders Waterford cold press watercolor paper. This is a paper that I don't use very often. It is very textured. It has a lot of kind of lumps and bumps on the paper, but it's also very, very thick and luxurious. It's very cushiony, has a very soft cotton feel. So I'm stamping one of the large stems from the Long Line Roses stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it multiple times. I'm going to have to stamp it, I think I stamped it 4 times because that paper is so textured. Now I'm using a long retired ink from Simon Says stamp called Sparrow. It's a nice brown. If you are lucky enough to have this ink, hold on to it because it's a good one. It is both waterproof and alcohol marker friendly once it's dry. So, oh Simon, please bring it back. I loved their original ink line. I took that same image and I stamped it around, kind of filling the bottom left corner and up the side. And then I taped my watercolor panel to a hardboard. I'm going to be doing lots and lots of watercolor, so I want to keep my paper flat while I'm working. I'm using Altenew's Deep Muse watercolor palette. It has a nice kind of curated selection of colors. And I'm going to first start with a bunch of water all over this watercolor paper. I just sprayed it with a spray bottle. I'm going to do an underlayer, like an underpainting of very, very soft, kind of this golden ochre color and also the umber color, like the brown. And then I'll go over the top and add some almost monochromatic colors, just very small hints of color. So now that all of that watercolor painting is finished, I'm going to remove my watercolor project from my board, just remove all that tape. I really love how this turned out. I love those colors. It looks almost monochromatic, but not. There's that kind of more hint of the greens. It almost has this like hazy brown feel to it. I really love how that feels. I'm now taking the With Deepest Sympathy sentiment from the Written Words 2 stamp set, and I'm stamping that in that same Sparrow ink from Simon Says Stamp. Oh, I love this ink. I wish it would come back. But I did have to stamp that, I think, 3 times in order to get a solid line. So here's what it looks like with the painting and the grading all finished. So I'm going to be cutting like a thin brown frame to go on the card. So I'm using my A7 thin frames dies, as well as some Espresso Cardstock from Concord and Ninth. And I'm just going to be putting that on the outside edge of the card. So now it's time to assemble everything. I'm using this wide tape from Altenew. When I'm adhering watercolor projects directly to a card front without any foam adhesive or anything like that, I like to use this particular tape because it is super, super strong and it really does stick to that cardstock note card. So after I press that down, I'm going to add a little line or little dots of glue all around the outer edge of the card. I find it easier to apply the glue to the card itself versus adding the glue to the back of that very, very thin frame. Sometimes that frame can be a little cumbersome to kind of manipulate and move around. So I like to put the glue on the more stable card itself. So I press that frame down, and that finishes the card for today. Really love this very soft painting kind of technique with these very soft colors for a sympathy card. You don't ever want to do something too loud and obnoxious for a sympathy card, or at least I prefer not to. So that is the card for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I will have some additional videos for you to check out at the end of this video here, so you can click over, find some other card videos to watch. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon.